If you were to point to me and say, well, Jews understood monotheism in this specific sense, and not just obviously saying ancient Judaism, but let's even say Second Temple Judaism, so the time of Jesus, the immediate followers of Jesus understood monotheism in this specific sense, and Christians have moved away, then that will be a problem. But what I'm trying to say to you is that there's a continuity between Judaism and Christianity in affirming monotheism. Islam has a problem there if that's the case, because continuity of belief needs to be there. If you are saying that this religion has been here since the beginning, and it's the religion that we find in Judaism, maybe corruption came in, but it's the same nucleus there, it's the same religion that is then explicated fullest at the time of Prophet Muhammad, then you must have continuity and connectedness of belief. But if there's a breaking of that, and I'm saying there's a breaking of that when it comes to monotheism, then there's a problem there in claiming continuity and connectedness of belief. Christians don't have that, because we're trying to say, actually, in Second Temple Judaism, this is the understanding of monotheism that Christians have upheld all the way up to nicely.
Do you think that the Jews always believe that, and can that be demonstrated historically?
Yes.
I don't think that.
Well, I would say to you.
Would you make that strong of a claim?
Oh, wait, are you saying Trinitarianism itself?
No. I'm saying
the understanding of monotheism.
What I mean is, in the sense that there were Jews that believed in the monarchy of the Father, and that didn't believe in the existence of the Son and the Spirit, and would use the term God loosely and fluidly to refer to other beings, but never understood that those other beings were equal to the Father.
Obviously, prior to the time of Christ, there wasn't that maybe clear, explicated understanding of there being two other divine persons. But what I'm trying to say to you is that for the whole point of what I'm trying to explain is that monotheism wasn't to do with divinity. That's what I'm really trying to emphasize here. And so if there was more than one
but was
divine,
that universally held by the Jews?
I would say it's been quite clearly shown by quite a few scholars. I think a clear one is Michael Heisler. I mean, he is a Christian, but he's done phenomenal work on the Old Testament and the understanding of monotheism in the Old Testament. And so it's sort of this idea of the divine council.
I'm familiar with all that material. But I'm saying, is there dissenting opinions that are scholarly that disagree with those theories, in the sense that that's not, although that may have been held by some Jews, doesn't mean that it was universal?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, in any field, you could always find scholars disagreeing on stuff. But you go with what's the majority, and also who's the most reputable in the field, who people are then being most influenced by in their sort of scholarly work. And I think a lot of people would look to individuals who have been tackling this issue. So, for example, Larry Hurtado, I think he's played a massive role in sort of ancient Jewish monotheism, understanding what that is. And he has shown clearly in his work that, and even Richard Borkham itself, even though he's a Christian, I think a lot of scholars look to his work as being very, very influential. Even Hurtado himself pointed to Borkham prior to his death.
I'm not saying all this stuff is nonsense.
So I'm saying to you that obviously you'll have divergence of opinion in any field, but a number of reputable scholars would say actually monotheism, correctly understood, was to do with worship practice, and the idea that actually we worship the one God, the Father, and we don't worship any other deity, we don't sacrifice to any other deity, and that's what grounded monotheism. Yet belief in more than one deity wasn't a problem. With contemporary speech taken from metaphysics, fundamentality is that categorical distinction. He is the fundamental entity because he's unsourced and is the source of all reality. Yet there can be other divine entities that share his qualities, yet they're non-fundamental because they are grounded or come from him in some specific sense.
Let me be clear. The Muslim position would be, even if we couldn't find a single trace of evidence of the Islamic conception, we would still believe in it. So the historical account for us, although we'll look at what the evidence is, lack of evidence, even if I granted it for the sake of argument, which I'm not, let's say there's absolutely no evidence, Muslims would still believe in it, because we believe that our faith is justified by other prior considerations, by the Quran itself, by the prophethood of Muhammad, etc. And so because of that, even if we couldn't, let's say for sake of argument, we could not find within the Jewish tradition any semblance of the Islamic conception of God, in that you didn't have these other lesser divine beings who were accepted, and it was sort of this not strict monotheistic religion in the way that Muslims conceive of it, still wouldn't be a problem for us in that way. You may look at that as problematic, and maybe some other people would as well. But for me personally, and I don't think Muslims in general either would disagree with this, that our position on this does not rest on a historical analysis of what is going on in contemporary scholarship based on this.